I'm very excited.
Why are you very excited?
They are saving the space program.
Who is saving the space program?
Congress.
Congress is saving the space program?
Yes.
How is Congress saving the space program?
Congress is making NASA build their own big new rocket. It will launch 130 tons, just like in Apollo Saturn V.
How does that save the space program?
NASA cannot explore space if they do not have their own big new rocket, just like in Apollo Saturn V.
So, you want NASA to explore space?
Yes. Space is very exciting. And it's good for our country's technology. And it is important to the future of humanity.
I agree. But why does NASA need their own big new rocket to do that?
They just have to have it.
Don't we have lots of other rockets already?
They are not big enough to explore. Exploring takes really big rockets.
Why does exploring take really big rockets?
Because exploring takes a really big upper stage in space, full of fuel, to get anywhere.
What if we launch the really big upper stage empty on one of the rockets we already have?
But then it won't have enough fuel.
What if we launch the fuel on more of the rockets we already have, and then fill up the really big upper stage in space?
But that is not how they did it in Apollo.
NASA wouldn't need a really big new rocket then, would they?
But NASA has to have a really big new rocket. Congress says so.
Did Congress ask NASA what NASA thinks they need?
Yes.
What did NASA say?
NASA said they don't need a new really big rocket until they figure out how much they can do with the rockets we already have. Then they will know if they need a new rocket that's only a little bit bigger, or a new rocket at all. Clearly they are stalling, 'cause they don't want to have a real space program, with real rockets.
Okay. What else did NASA say?
NASA said they cannot build the big new rocket Congress wants anyway, because Congress is not giving them enough billions and billions.
Is NASA any good at building big new rockets?
They have spent billions and billions of dollars on it over the decades.
Is that a yes or no?
They employ lots of people and create lots of jobs. High-tech jobs.
How many rockets have they finished? And because it costs NASA so much money just to try to build a big new rocket, if they do build the rocket Congress wants, NASA won't have enough money for anything to fly on it.
NASA must build a big new rocket. We cannot explore without it. The rocket scientists in Congress say so. And Congress is never wrong.
So if NASA is going to explore space, they need to figure out how to do it with cheap rockets, right?
Maybe.
Who is good at building new rockets cheap these days?
SpaceX, United Launch Alliance, Orbital Sciences. But they are just hobby rockets. Senator Shelby says so.
So Congress wants NASA to build a really big new rocket that NASA says it doesn't need yet, and that NASA probably can't build anyway, and that NASA can't afford to fly anything on if it does build it.
Yes.
And Congress wants to do this with the money NASA was planning to spend on learning how to explore with much less expensive commercial rockets instead.
Yes.
And this is Congress saving the space program.
Yes.
What if I knocked you down and took your money and spent it to hire my friends?
That would be robbery.
According to you, that would be being saved by Congress.